Just about everybody that you encounter is often going through something that may not be obvious from the outside.
Death to jobs. How many people you know have been fired because of their mouth? How many marriages have been destroyed because of mouths, because of the tongue? So let's use our words to benefit us. Let's use our words to make the world around us better. Let's use our words to make our relationships better. Let's use our words to bring life to our marriage, life to our kids, life to our jobs, life to our minds, life to our families. Speak words that edify, speak words that build up, speak words that embrace, speak words that forgive, speak words that love, speak words that heal.
Words are full of power. They can heal, they can wound, they can minister death, they can minister life, they can encourage, they can discourage, they can build up, they can tear down. People get divorces over words. Families are split apart over words. People lose jobs over words. People have insecurity and a poor self-image over words that have been spoken to them. Words are containers for power, and we need to choose our words very carefully, and it's time for us to step up to the plate and be accountable for the words that we allow to come out of our mouth. No man can tame the tongue. We need God's help. So you want to pray every day for God to help you with your mouth.
We are constantly speaking words, and even a few can have the power of life and death. Now, some of you know this because you grew up in homes where a few words spoken to you had power of life or had power of death. And you can remember those words, just 3 or 4 words that maybe a parent, a teacher, a sibling, a friend, a coach said to you, and it either brought some life or brought some death into your world.
One of the best things you can do for your relationships, if you're married, if you have children, if you're a leader or an influencer at work, if you have someone in your small group, is to bless them with words of encouragement. Set the blessing free. You encourage what you want to see, and you typically see more of it. If it were up to me, I would be so encouraging. If you think something good, say it. If you think something good, say it. In a world full of so much criticism, so much hatred, so much disappointment, so much negativity, as people of the light, we'll lift up others around us.
So Genesis 1, the Bible tells us the earth was formless, it was empty, or it was void. And it says that darkness was over the surface of the deep. So there was just nothing. There was nothing. And then verse 3, here's what we read. And God said, maybe your translation says, and God spoke. So God speaks into the nothingness. He speaks into the darkness, and he says, let there be light, and there was light. And so at the very beginning of time, God creates the universe, but how does he do it? What tool does he use? He uses words. He speaks the universe into existence. God says, and it is. And we see this throughout the creation account. God said, and it happened. He speaks it. And so God uses words to bring about life and light. God uses words to build up, to create. He speaks into darkness, and he says light, and lights come on. And so we see from the beginning the power of words, that words are the tool that God uses. Flip over a couple chapters, Genesis 3. And in this passage, we see that words have the power of death. And so this is the passage of scripture where sin enters into the world. God has created man and woman. He said that it's very good. Now Satan comes on the scene in the form of a serpent. And verse 1 tells us that the serpent was clever, more clever, in fact, than any wild animal God had made. And what did he do? He spoke. He spoke to the woman, and he said, do I understand that God told you? So he speaks, and when he speaks, he attacks what God has said. And do I understand that God told you not to eat from any tree in the garden? And then he would go on to say, hey, God didn't really say that. And so
Satan, he's got control of it. You and I, we have the ability to have our tongue set on fire by hell, to say things